Magandang umaga, Malacañang Press Corps, and welcome sa ating press briefing ngayon araw, June 8th. Last Monday, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. appointed the lawyer Gilberto Teodoro Jr. as his administration's secretary for the Department of National Defense. He previously served as the defense secretary during the administration of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Sa kanyang pagbabalik sa DND, alamin natin mismo kay Secretary Gilberto Teodoro kung ano-ano ang mga hakbang o programa na kanyang inihahanda para sa seguridad ng bansa. Good morning, Secretary Teodoro.
Good morning, Sec Daphne. Good morning to our friends sa Malacañang Press Corps at sa lahat po na nanonood ngayong umaga. Good morning po sa kanilang lahat.
Okay, you may give a few statements?
Well, unang-una, nagpapasalamat po uli ako sa ating Pangulo para sa kanyang tiwala sa akin at sa lahat po ng nagbigay ng magagandang mensahe, ng encouragement at sa lahat, sa aking pamilya, nagpapasalamat din ako sa kanilang patuloy na suporta sa akin. At itong trabaho na ito ay hamon na malaki na sana magtulungan po tayo ng masinsinan because national security is everybody's business, no, not only government's business. Pero usapin ng lahat po ito.
Okay. Would you like to take questions from the
Oh,
Press
sure,
Corps?
sure,
Okay, let's
sure.
start. Maricel Halili, TV5.
Hi sir, magandang umaga po.
Magandang
Sir,
umaga, Maricel.
Opo, simulan ko lang po dun sa usapin ng peace talks dahil naglabas po ng pahayag yung National Democratic Front saying na open daw po uli sila na makipag-usap sa pamahalaan kung bukas din yung gobyerno tungkol dito. Ano po yung tugon natin doon? Are we open for another peace talks with NDFP?
My personal position is no. Matagal ko ng posisyon yan nung araw pa. And I think that is the position of the security cluster as of this time, no? Dahil unang-una, bukas loob naman ang gobyerno na magbalik sa fold ng law, kaya ang lahat ng mga dating kasapi ng CPP, NPA, NDF, nandyan na ang OPA-PRO na handa na tulungan sila at i-rehabilitate. Malaki ang naitulong ng NTF-ELCAC na i-dismantle ang mga natitirang mga tinatawag na fronts na natitira sa bansa. At sa tingin ko, ang peace talks ay sa akin sa version ng ating proseso demokratiko, no? Pwede naman natin pag-usapan yung mga issue na yan sa tamang forum. Yan ay ang Kongreso. At magsumanib sila sa legitimate political process. Hindi naman bawal ang CPP eh. Republic Act 1700 has been repealed long ago. Pero yung indirect at direct support sa armadong pakikibaka, yan ang problema. So to me, there's no such thing as, it's an oxymoron, ano, yung legal front. Walang legal na front. Ang front ay illegal. No?
So if that's the case, sir, how do we intend to deal with the CPP-NPA?
I mean, ideologically, to me, it's a farce. So what we intend to do is to convince those that are still continuing whatever business they're continuing, which is against the law, to come back and join the fold of law and join hands for national development. No? Mm-hmm. And as a political party, they can register as a legitimate political party just as long as there is evidence that there is a total disavowal of resort to subversive means in order to gain political power. All of these theories, Marxism, etc., these are political theories, and the end is to gain political power. Now, at the end of the day, it's people who run things, and so although hidden behind theory, nakatago sa likod ng teorya, tao rin yan eh. So, ano ang motibasyon ng tao na yan? It's to gain political power, and behind that, hindi tayo pwedeng divine kung ano talagang intensyon. Ngayon, para patas lahat, halalan.
Legitimate party, hindi po all-out war.
Oo. Oh, legitimate party. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, sorry, pahabol po. Meron lang po kasi mga random posts sa social media na parang nakakakita daw ng mga fighter jets sa Manila. I don't know if this is true or not, pero baka lang may detalye kayo.
Hindi, wala akong nababalitaan na gano'n. Baka naman may ensayo lang for Independence Day. No? Baka lang. No? Wala akong natatanggap na report na ganyan. No?
Salamat,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, Maricel. Nestor Corrales, Inquirer.
Sir, you mentioned it was your personal position. Is this also the position of the president, and what was his directive?
I have to consult regarding that because the only consultation I had with the president, first and foremost, is to speed up the MUP, of which I will receive total briefings in the coming days as to what progress has already been done, and I understand significant progress has already been done towards getting a consensus, no? And I have to commend Secretary Galvez and the economic team for the stellar work that they have done. I will put in definitely my 2 cents worth regarding my views on the sustainability of whatever scheme is given, giving due regard also to the invaluable contributions of those who served our country selflessly. No? However, we must also look at the big picture that the financial sustainability of any government-funded enterprise must not result to the detriment of the financial position of government. So we have to find a healthy balance. And I believe that our men, women in uniform are not averse to the fact that they have to contribute to national government, just as long as they see that at the end of their tours of duty, number one, they will be taken care of. Number two, that the fund or whatever they have to participate in is transparently, professionally, and competently managed and not mismanaged. Also, the military is still a very attractive proposition for a young person to have a career because there are non-monetary benefits that you can get, like free medical care, continuous skills training, educational opportunities, and the like. As a matter of fact, what we want to make sure also is that they are re-employable because of their specific skill sets in the private sector after. And thus, one of really my programs, as you may have heard yesterday, I start first with my own agency, the Department of National Defense, that we need to upgrade our skill sets in the organization. I learned yesterday we only have a plantilla of about 320 or so. And the fill-up rate is quite low because of the unattractive salary rates. Can you imagine we're managing a stakeholder base of almost 1 million pesos and 125 billion or so assets under management? Can't do that with 320 people, and without capital outlay. So I really would want to focus on organizational development on a sustainable basis to motivate our people, both in all agencies of the government, under my watch, and to develop specific educational and skill sets. Because as you know, you're journalists, a lot of happenings, a lot of things are evolving, and a lot of challenges are evolving. We have to create a security structure that does not only mean the armed forces, but also the civilian managers, the resource managers, the program managers, the lawyers, that will be able to address the unforeseen challenges that we may face in the future.
Okay. Joe Banahan, ABS-CBN News Online.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Joe.
Ay, good morning pa. Sir, you're an alumnus of the University of the Philippines
Yes.
po. Sir, are you open to reviewing yung DND and UP Accord?
No, I'm not anymore. That has been a policy already done by my predecessor, and I don't want to reverse the policy. But that does not mean to say that I'm not mindful of the autonomy of the University of the Philippines. And I urge everybody to be respectful of that without need of any MOA. Actually, when I was Secretary of Defense, I did not also agree to a lot of zones of peace entered into by my own local government, actually, in the province of Tarlac, because, I mean, these are used as safe havens, no? That being said, I admonish also and I encourage all law enforcement officers to be really mindful of the balance between freedom of expression and protecting the peace. No, I mean, look what happened in the change of chancellorship. There was some raucous there. The military didn't get involved, or the police didn't get involved.
Pero sir, ngayon, parang last year, parang the Senate, sabi po dito sa isang press release, Senate is set to institutionalize the agreement between UP and DND. So, wala po kayong plano na
Wala.
isupport
Ngayon,
ito?
kung isabatas yan ng ating legislators at pinirmahan ng presidente, di susunod tayo, pero hindi ko susuportahan. Kasi hindi lang naman UP eh. Bakit bukod tangi ang ating universidad? Nandyan din naman ang ibang universidad na public institutions din. At ito naman, for fairness sake, hindi lang naman ang UP ang pinag-re-recruitan ng mga insurgents. Marami pang universidad na focus lamang ang UP sapagkat it's the most prominent university of the Philippines, actually. No?
Okay. Kathy Valente, Manila Times.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Sir, the President yesterday instructed po Filipino ambassadors to look for non-traditional partners na po in terms of trade, security, and defense. Ano-ano pa pong mga bansa ang ating tinitignan para mas mapalakas pa po ang ating defense capabilities?
Sa ngayon, aside from ang ating treaty ally na Estados Unidos, natural nakikipag-usap tayo. Alam naman natin yan sa Israel, sa Japan, sa Korea, at iba't ibang Sweden. Recently, nakapirma si Secretary Galvez ng MOU sa Shangri-La Dialogue with Sweden. At I think the marching order is to look for a proper fit wherever. No? Whatever serves our needs and whatever will jibe with our national security, territorial integrity, and interoperability with our present complement.
Okay, Ivan Mayrina, GMA 7.
Secretary, in a previous interview this morning, you said that we should de-escalate tension in the West Philippine Sea, not just with China, but with all other claimant states. How do you see this happening, sir, and how exactly do we intend to do that?
Hindi de-escalation, actually. I meant deconfliction. Kasi ang de-escalation wala sa atin yun. Hindi naman tayo aggressor. Bawal tayong maging aggressor under the Constitution. Yung deconfliction, as much as possible, yan ay balanse ng pagtatayo sa lahat ng gustong umabuso sa ating territorial integrity coupled with deconfliction. Kung pwedeng mag-usap. Pero merong hindi pwedeng i-cross ang Secretary of National Defense. Hindi natin pwedeng i-bargain away ang ating teritoryo sa kahit anuman usapin. At sa usapin na yan, nasabi ko rin, Ivan, mga kababayan, na ang pagtatatag ng ating credible deterrence, ang pagtatatag ng ating kakayahan na ipagtanggol ang ating sarili ay sarili nating usapin. Kung sino man ang i-partner natin, wala nang pakialam yung ibang mga tao dyan. Dahil ito ay paulit-ulit na sinasabi ng ating Pangulo ay for purely defensive purposes at deterrent purposes. Walang malakas na bansa sa mundo na hindi malakas ang kanyang sandatahang lakas at civil defense din, kakayahan na ipagtanggol ang kanyang sarili. Kaya kung tayo ay sasabihan na kaya tayo ay nagpapatatag ng national defense dahil polisiya ito ng ibang bansa, bigyan naman tayo ng karampatang respeto na kaya natin mag-isip para sa ating sarili.
Okay. Go ahead.
Secretary, Alexis Romero of the Philippine Star. May concerns dati regarding yung sa pension reforms na there might be early retirement ng maraming mga enlisted personnel because they are concerned about yung reforms and they want to benefit from the old system. They want to ensure na yung dating benefits na nakukuha nila, makukuha pa rin nila bago pa mag-implement ng reforma. Are you confident that you will be able to avert yung ganong concern na maraming magre-retire over the proposed pension reforms?
Sa tingin ko, kasi I mean it's a matter of getting an amount now without the continuing non-monetary benefits that you will enjoy in your career path, in your career pattern. Kung mag-i-invest nga tayo sa skills upgrading, sa healthcare, hindi lamang ng ating mga kasunduluhan, kundi pamilya, and other non-monetary opportunities, palagi ko may iiwan sila. May iiwan sila. At lalo na kung makikita nila na ang sakripisyo natin lahat, no, ay magiging sa kabutihan ng lahat. Kasi, okay, wag natin sulbahin ang problema. Alright? Anong mangyayari? Magkakaroon tayo ng mas malaking deficit, magkakaroon ng inflation, bababa ang balor ng ating pera, tataas ang bilihin. So, tama rin lahat eh. No? So, I think it's a matter of explaining the necessity, no, of introducing. Sa aking palagay, dahil galing din naman ako sa financial sector, hindi naman biglaan mangyayari ito eh. Mababawasan lamang ang dapat na pagdudugo nga ng ating gobyerno hanggang sa ma-self-sustain na itong sistema na to. At alam din natin, katulad din ng pagtatanim ng halaman, alagaan mo to palalakihin mo to bago ka umani. No? So hindi naman bingi ang gobyerno sa ganon na ito ay hindi biglaan na ipapataw tapos biglaan na lang babawasan ka ng ganito. Kung hindi, meron din transitioning ito dapat, no?
Follow up lang, Secretary. Kasi previous administrations have tried to pass or push for bills reforming the pension system. I remember panahon ni President Noynoy Aquino, meron yan. Panahon ni President Duterte, even naging priority bills na yan. Ngayon, priority bill uli siya ng Marcos administration. Ano po kaya yung meron ngayon, tingin nyo, maiiba at maipupush ito? Kasi marami na pong nagtangkang gawin ito, pero hindi naman po naipasa sa Kongreso.
Palagay ko, naiiba ay ang unang marching order na nga ng Pangulo sa akin na dapat makipag-ugnayan na nga sa economic cluster na makapasa ng bill sa lalong sa agad na panahon upang matigil ang paghe-hemorrhage. Hindi mapapara bigla-bigla pero mababawasan, ano? So we can use the funds for other things and we can also build a stable and sustainable retirement plan for our men and women in uniform. May dalawang prinsipyo lang na gusto kong idagdag doon. Kailangan ang pondo ay naturally, para palakihin mo to, magri-risk ka. Risk-reward yan eh. Kung hindi ka mag-risk, hindi lalaki, walang growth. Ngunit, kinakailangan i-observe nito ang prudential standards nga sa banking, no? Ang financial sector, alam nito na kailangan may governance standards, prudential standards, tamang risk management, tamang audit, transparency, at ang mga nagpapatakbo nito kailangan ay sasailalim sa fit and proper rule nga ng BSP. Kailangan may requisite experience and responsibility ito. And it goes also, eto sasabihin ko na, hindi gagawin ito ng mga tao na libre. You have to pay for experience, you have to pay for integrity. At the end of the day, you get professional managers, you compensate and motivate them properly, and you'll get good results. But you make their pay with due watch standards, no? In conformity, their pay commensurate to performance, no? Ngayon, ang gusto kong pag-aralan at maitanong, kung magtatatag tayo nitong ganitong pondo, pwede ba natin patakbuhin based on mga standard na istrikto ng Insurance Commission, ng BSP, at other financial institutions, at ito ba ay sasalungat sa audit code ng COA? Kasi sa pag-experience ko, kung susunod tayo sa COA, makaluma yung audit code, maraming ipagbabawal at baka may mangyari. Kaya ito ay dapat i-deconflict, nga. No?
Okay. Mayor Vince Lopez, Manila Standard.
Sir, ibalik ko lang dun sa South China Sea. May mga reports po na recently may mga foreign ships na namamataan sa may Pag-asa Islands. Are you willing, sir, to position more gray ships in our West Philippine Sea boundary, sir? Or
I can't give you an answer now kasi whole of government approach nga yan. I'll have to consult with the National Security Advisor, with the Department of Foreign Affairs, and we have to come out with a concerted plan of action with this. Hindi ko masasagot sa sarili kong opinion to kasi napaka-importanting bagay ng national security.
Okay, we have time for a few more questions.
Si Nestor
Bella
was-
Las Moras, PTV4.
Hi, Secretary Gubo. I'm Mela from PTV4. Sir, speaking of priorities lang na nababanggit niyo po kanina, kailan po ba yung target niyo or schedule ng susunod na pulong kay Pangulong Marcos? At mula sa mga unang araw niyo sa serbisyo, ano po yung mga naobserbahan niyo na gusto niyo ding isulong pag nagkita kayo ni President Marcos para maging prioridad din ng DND?
Ang prioridad ko talaga i-reform yung DND proper nga. Tulad ng nasabi ko, no? Na kailangan ito'y makabagong organisasyon na kasi sa bigat ng kanyang responsibilidad. Gumawa nga tayo ng Department of Migrant Workers, nireforma ang BSP. It's high time na yung Department of National Defense as the civilian agency which resource manages and provides services to its 5 agencies be reformed already. Kasi ito'y nalilibing sa ilalim ng mga modernization bills, amendment to the National Defense Act. Itong unang-unang importante na gawin kasi you cannot manage properly. Hindi tayo makakaplano, hindi tayo makakagawa ng magagandang assessments pag hindi tayo makakuha ng tamang tao. So, ang susunod na pagpulong namin kay Pangulo, pasalamat ako, he's allowing me time to settle in. Pero may deadline ako sa MUP niya, kaya mamadaliin ko na. Na with due regard naman, hindi naman ako magmamadali just for the sake of magmamadali. Mabuti ang sigurado at dekalidad na trabaho.
Okay.
Nestor, I think
Corrales.
Sir, Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson Jay Tariela raised this question over the weekend during a security dialogue in Singapore. Talking about peace and security in the South China Sea, its actions show confrontation. As the new Defense Secretary, what is your message to Beijing with their actions, knowing that in the past we have been filing diplomatic protests, but apparently it had fell to deaf ears, or China has not been responding to the call for peace and stability in the region?
As a stronger country, it has the bigger obligation to be magnanimous and show trust, and to earn the trust of the Filipino people by conforming its activities to recognized norms of international law, which in our case is UNCLOS. We're talking about the arbitral award. It has already been stated by our 2 past presidents that our rights and our territory are defined by UNCLOS, and it has been stated too that this cannot be frittered away or bargained away by passages of administration or passage of time. Now, what I'd like to point out is, I wrote an article before it's published, so I can't take back what I said. It is not only important to take into consideration what the specifics of the arbitral tribunal said, but the process by which it was done. It was done by an independent arbitral tribunal of experts in international law, where had China participated, would have had a chance to demonstrate its legal position in a fair and impartial proceeding. So in the same vein, we have to follow transparent procedures, and that is the best way to build trust. That being said, relations between two countries are not monodimensional. There are other relationships that we need to build up. China is a big market for this country. We realize that. And I think the United States realizes it too. No? We live in a more conflicted world where we hope that even in the Ukraine-Russia problem, our supply chains are affected, no? Being a net importer country, no? So we really hope that the benefit of everybody as world citizens will outweigh other interests.
Okay. Celine Dorado, Net 25.
Sir, question lang po on other issues. Dati po kayo naging chairman ng National Disaster Coordinating Council and ngayon po ay NDRRMC. Ano naman po yung magiging papel ninyo as new DND Secretary sa pagtugon po ng gobyerno sa El Niño phenomenon at sa inaasahang matindi po ng epekto nito sa bansa?
I think I will just continue the work done. There's still a task force on the El Nino, which is headed still by Secretary Galvez, as far as I know. No? And I will just continue to support the work done and to support him if he continues on that task force. No? And yung NDRRMC, I want to study also kasi malaki ang pagbabago ng NDCC nung araw sa NDRRMC. Tapos, nung pandemic, nagpalit din ng anyo kasi nagkaroon ng mga task forces para mas mabilis nga makakilos, no? So, yung istruktura ng OCD at saka ng NDRRMC ay nagbago. So, kailangan kong pag-aralan at batay na rin sa mga pronouncements dati ng OP na gusto yata ang OCD na maging agency under the OP kasi nga and it's also good that you answered you asked the question, Celine, kasi separate ang civil defense military national defense katulad nung World War II, for example, sa Britain, yung kasing importante nung mga Air Force nila, nung mga sundalo nila ang mga nagpapatay sunog nung bombing ng London, ang mga air wardens at marshals, na sana i-integrate din ito sa ating mga government processes. Secondly, minsan may ibang mga bansa na averse sila na tumulong kapag ang civil defense ay nasa sa ilalim ng national defense, no? Kasi may international law implications yan kung combatant or non-combatant or whatnot, no? So, ito yata ang direksyon ng ating Pangulo at ako'y susuporta naman dito. At kailangan lang, ang importante lang, huwag maantala ang mga serbisyo.
Okay, more questions because we don't have ambush interviews later on, so please ask already. Okay. Sorry, Gabriel Lalu.
Hello, sir. Any policy on regarding, kasi previously, there have been incidents of military personnel engaging in red tagging na paminsan, wala naman talagang link yung tao at na-appropriate lang, like even journalists, na-appropriate as members daw ng armed movement. Any policy on red tagging, sir?
Hindi, yung red tagging is a nomenclature given naman by current events, no? Pero kung talagang membro naman ng armed group at meron namang ebidensya, we call a spade a spade. And I'll make sure naman, alam naman ng mga nakasama ko nung araw, because institution building is also building trust. pag sinobrahan naman ng isang bagay, mawawala ang trust rating. At taas nga ng trust rating ng ating Department of Defense at ang gobyerno. We'd like to maintain that kasi tiwala nga ng taong importante sa atin. So, balanse yan. No? Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin pababayaan naman natin ang iba na magtago sa likod ng kunwari legitimate exercise of freedom of expression. Although all this must be evidence-based at the end of the day. Not only in the AFP, but I think even Secretary Abalos in the DILG is hard at work for making police work as a matter of prevention and as a matter of example, also a matter of the judicial process working.
Okay, we have Vance Fernandez of Police Files.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I know that you have some commitment in your plans. How about the AFP modernization in order to defend our country's sovereign?
Hindi, tuloy-tuloy po yun. Hindi ko babaguhin yon hanggat hindi may matinding pangangailangan at rekomendado din ng ating armed forces. No? Nakakasana ang mga horizons ng modernization nila. Nakaplano ito. Mahirap bago-baguhin. Yan ang dapat maintindihan ng mga tao. No? Ako ay magfa-facilitate kung anuman ang kailangan ng ating 5 agencies at ako ay makikiusap sa ating mga partner legislators na sana mapondohan ito. Yan ang trabaho ko. At ako ay aasa kung sa ano ang tunay na kinakailangan nila. Ano ngayon ang trabaho ko? Ang trabaho po natin ay makuha sa lalong madaling panahon itong kinakailangan nila at siguraduhin ito ay pinakamabuting kalidad sa pinakamabuting halaga at nandun ang resources hindi lamang sa pagbibili nito kung hindi sa tamang paggamit nito sa buong buhay nito, ang tinatawag na life cycle.
Okay. Okay. We're good. Before we go, maybe some closing words from you, Secretary Teodoro. You had touched on many issues that were asked by the Malacañang Press Corps here. You were formerly also DND Secretary in another time, and the world has changed so much, as you mentioned. We have climate change directly affecting our country. Maybe we can have some final words from you in your first press con here with Malacañang.
Thank you very much, Daphne, at sa lahat po ng mga kasama natin dito sa Malacañang Press Corps. It's nice to see some familiar faces and it's nice to meet new ones. I think my essential job too, ang pinaka-importanteng trabaho ko ay i-articulate at i-communicate ang essentials ng national defense sa lingwahe na klaro na maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan. Kasi kailangan po ang isang bansa na mag-uugnayan sa ilalim ng isang mensahe. So nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyong lahat sa pagkakataon na maipahayag ang aking mga isipin tungkol sa mga katanungan po ninyo at nabigyan nyo rin po ako ng pagkakataon na maipaliwanag ang trabaho ng isang Secretary of National Defense. No? Kasi ang common conception po ng ating mga kababayan ay militar kaagad. Hindi po. Presidente, Chief of Staff. Ang Secretary of National Defense ay advisor ng Presidente, alter ego ng Presidente, at service provider po sa 5 ahensya. Kaya dyan po tayo tututok.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary Teodoro, and thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Good afternoon.
Thank you.